Orlando in Florida is world famous for its theme parks. The only problem is that is all that most of the people that visit here know about. This area has so much more to offer, so V and I decided to make a video about 7 things to do near Orlando, and we might even put in a couple bonuses at the end. If you would like to see the full videos for the items on this list, check in the upper corner of the screen and in the descriptions below. We're gonna start off this list with a visit to Wekiwa Springs. This is a little bit of a local spot, and the natural setting here will make you feel like you're in a whole nother world. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply someone who's looking to unwind and take time in nature's captivating wonders, there is no shortage of recreational activities here to suit your interests. Everything from swimming and snorkeling to paddling, hiking, or biking. There's something for everyone at Wekiwa Springs State Park. There is so much natural beauty in the park, and we ended our visit on a high note when we spotted some deer on the way out of the park. You may notice a couple of themes on this list, and for item number 2, we are heading to another spring. The Rock Spring Tube Float at Kelly Park is a very popular attraction, and you need to get there early. There are tons of amenities at Kelly Park. There are picnic tables everywhere, there's playgrounds, there's volleyball courts, and even a hiking trail that's 2.7 miles long. But of course, the main attraction here is the Rock Springs Tube Float. The water here is between 68 and 72 degrees year-round, and boy is it refreshing. The tube float covers right around 3/4 of a mile and takes about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. The good thing is that you can either hang out in the large pool at the end, or you can hop out and head back to the beginning and do it all over again. This is definitely a cool experience, and it's well worth getting there quite early to make sure that you can get into the park. Item number 3 on the list is a big time favorite of ours, and it's taking a catboat ride with Catboat Escapes. These tiny boats are an absolute blast to operate, and this experience is very educational as well, as you'll get a ton of facts through this little walkie-talkie. If you're looking for something unique to do, this is definitely it. V and I had never even heard of catboats before this experience, and now I have to admit, I kinda want one. Along the way, you'll get to go through several high-speed areas as well as narrow passageways, and you might even get to drink some spring water. Nate and the rest of the crew at Catboat Escapes couldn't have been nicer, and they took an already fun experience and made it epic. So if you're looking for a fun and unique adventure that won't break the bank, you should definitely hit up Catboat Escapes on your next visit. As I said before, there will be a couple of themes over the course of this list, and another theme you may see is quite a few boats. If you're a little bit intimidated of driving your own boat, you can always leave it to the professionals and go for an airboat ride. After quite a bit of research, we ended up going with Wild Willie's airboat tours, and we had a great time. Neither of us had ever been on an airboat before, and we were amazed at how it can just plow over anything that gets in its way. The water was super glassy when we went, and it was so beautiful seeing the reflection of the clouds in the sky. Not only did our guide Brandon have some serious airboat maneuvering skills, but he had the eyes of an eagle, and he spotted several gators along the way. There are a ton of airboat tours in Florida, but from our experience, you can't go wrong if you book with Wild Willie's. And now the list is going to veer away from boats for just a second and head back towards springs. Blue Springs State Park is another great place to visit if you want to take a dip in some crystal clear water. Please note that if you do want to swim here, you need to visit between April and October. That is due to the fact that between November and March, the springs are closed to swimmers because they will be packed full of manatees. The boardwalk here is really picturesque, and even if you don't want to get into the water, it will give you several great viewpoints of the springs. We were visiting on a warmer day though, so getting into the water was on the top of our list of things to do. Luckily, at the time of the recording of this video, tube rentals are only $5 an hour, which make it a pretty cheap way to get all the way up to the head spring. You may also want to bring a snorkel mask so you can see all of the fish and other creatures inhabiting the springs as well. Now we are leaving Springs and once again heading back towards boats. Another one of our favorite things that we've ever done in Florida was spending 2 nights on this tiny houseboat. With a blistering speed of right around 7 miles an hour, this boat gives you a great chance to take in the beauty of the St. John River. Tiny Houseboat Adventures is the company that we rented this adorable houseboat from, and they will give you maps and all of the knowledge needed to explore some beautiful places that you would never knew existed if you just visit the theme parks. Fun fact, the St. John River is the longest river in Florida and one of the few rivers in the country that flow north. One thing is for sure, and I can almost guarantee that this will be the most interesting place that you have ever spent the night. Speaking of night, our next adventure takes place in the dark, and it is kayaking on bioluminescent water. This adventure is amazing to witness in person, but it's also very hard to capture on camera because of the low light conditions. So a huge thank you to 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 Kayak Tours for providing us with some footage. Depending on when you visit, you may see either cone jellyfish or dinophalangillates, or a mix of both. There are certain times of year where they are glowing brighter, so it's always a good idea to call ahead and check and see how the conditions are before you go. And with that, we have completed these 7 items on our list. But as I mentioned earlier, there are some bonus adventures that we have in store for you. These bonus items are either a little bit farther away from Orlando, or as in the case of the last item on the list, it's hinging on theme park-ish, so we didn't know if it belonged on the main list. If you enjoy kayaking, you should definitely visit Silver Springs, which is about 85 miles outside of Orlando. This is one of the largest springs in the entire country, cranking out around 6,134 gallons per second. Not only is this water crystal clear, but it's also home to manatees. We only spotted 1 over the course of our paddle, but if you come at the right time of year, you can see a ton more of them. We also spotted a couple of gators taking a nap in the warm Florida sun, but they didn't seem interested in bothering anybody. This is definitely one of our favorite kayaking spots that we've found in Florida so far, and it's definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. Once again, continuing on with the spring theme, the next item on this list is tubing down the Rainbow River. There are 2 different options if you want to do this adventure. You can either go through Rainbow Springs State Park, which is a 2-mile float downstream. Or if you're looking for a longer float, you can head over to the other side of the river and use 𝐀𝐃 Park. Whichever one you choose, you are in for a nice calm day on the water. Be sure to keep your eyes peeled for wildlife along the way because we saw tons of birds, fish, and even a couple of otters. And with that, we are on to the last item on our list, which we didn't know if we should put on the list because it's hinging on a theme park, and it is Gatorland. How can you visit Florida without getting up close and personal to the state reptile? We really enjoyed our time at Gatorland because not only was it very educational, but there was tons of humor packed into all of the exhibits and shows. We learned so much about these creatures that we thought were just these evil carnivores, and now we have so much more respect for them. While visiting Gatorland, you can either feed the alligators treats from the safety of the boardwalk, or if you're feeling a little bit more brave, you can get up close and personal with them and feed them chicken. Please note that there are no barriers between me and the gators right here, just a couple of guys with sticks. There are also train and swamp monster truck rides here, as well as tons of exhibits featuring other interesting animals. One thing we definitely want to do on our next visit is take a ride on the zip line that zips right over the gator enclosures. And that is going to do it for our list of 7+ things to do in the Orlando area. Did we miss anything? If we did, let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And for all the information about the items on this list, head on over to thatadventurelife.com.